Got these tomato plants in my front garden that are sprawling all over the place. They're covering up plants below. And when I go to stake them, I often break branches off. So today I'm going to show you that when you prune back your tomato plants, or if you accidentally snap a branch off, you can turn them into tomato plant cuttings to give yourself an extra crop of tomatoes later in the season. So with your tomato cuttings, you want a nice solid thickness in the stem that you're cutting. So around a centimetre thick is ideal. So I'm just going to cut this tomato cutting just below a node or a growth point on the tomato plant. And then I'm going to leave a fair bit of growth on the top. Cut around here at the top. And then I'm going to prune off some of these extra branches around the plant. I'll cut off the fruiting part of the plant because that will take extra energy away from what I want the cutting to do. So I'll just cut these side branches off. So here I have enough plant to make a tomato cutting. Some key things I've done. So the thickness is important. Also leaving a fair amount of leaf matter on top is important as well. The leaves are producing energy for the plant. So as that produces energy, it's going to send that energy down the plant. It's not going to have anywhere to go when it goes to the bottom. So it's going to use the hormones within the stem of the plant. It's going to provide energy to activate root growth where those hormones sit throughout the plant. So all I need to do now is pop this in a jar of water, and that's how you take a cutting from a tomato plant. These cuttings are ones that I've prepared earlier. So these ones are about a week old. You can see after a week that you have roots growing up the stem to the height of the water. These stems are about a centimetre thick, about the size of your pinky. And you find in the larger stems you'll get lots more roots appearing. The more leaves you leave on the top may also promote that energy being sent down the stem to get those roots shooting out of the side. So water depth is super important. Thickness of the stem also results in more roots appearing. So this one here is about 3 weeks old. So these are small cuttings. So I took these like you would a semi-hardwood cutting. I went about 125 mils, 75 to 125 mils long. Down the bottom, I left just the bottom in the water, and where the water depth was up to, that's where our roots started to appear. These ones here, after 3 weeks in the water, look like they've got a little bit of rot as a result of being in the water for too long. Here we've got our tomato cuttings that we've popped in the ground after germinating them in water or initiating them in water. So here we've got this cutting here. It's about 3 weeks old. It's been sitting in water. We've got root growth, like I've shown earlier, on the plant up to the height of the water of the container that it was in. Once you've got a nice healthy set of roots, you can dig a nice deep hole. For this plant here, if I was to bury this tomato all the way up from the base to here, I'd get roots start to establish the whole way along this stem. So when you're planting tomato seedlings or planting tomato cuttings, you can bury the plant all the way up to that first little growth point that you've got coming out of that first set of leaves. So it's a tip for when you're planting your tomatoes. These ones here, 3 or 4 weeks old and are thriving. Hopefully we'll get some tomatoes off these guys in the next couple of months. So good luck with your tomato cuttings. It's a simple way to preserve parts of your plant that you accidentally snap off, or just to give yourself a head start when you are growing tomatoes.